Hello everyone, welcome to Friday Sews. I'm Christine and this is Christine Sews a Lot. Friday Sews format is to talk about what we've been working on, our upcoming sewing plans, and a little bit about life sprinkled in. If you want to find other sewing vloggers with a similar style, you can search the Friday Sews hashtag in the YouTube search bar and be introduced to a whole host of lovely sewers. So today I am wearing the Remy Raglan top by Sew House 7. I started out the day wearing my Jarrah sweater, or one of my Jarrah sweaters, and it quickly became apparent that it was going to be too warm to wear that. So when I got home from the couple of errands I was running, I changed into this top, and it is perfectly perfect for this type of weather. Now it has been crazy weather-wise here. Around Christmas time we had unusually cold weather where it never warmed up. It stayed really cold, at least by our standards, around 20 to 40 degrees was the fluctuation in temperatures, and it was very windy. Not weather that we are used to at all. And I had all the company here. Typically at Christmas time, we have weather like today in the mid 70s, and we decide, do we want to go to the beach and go shell collecting and those kinds of activities. As soon as our family left, it looks like spring weather is back. But I do know that January is the coldest month in the Low Country, South Carolina area. So I'm not going to let this warm weather spoil my plans for sewing cozy clothes this weekend. I want to make the Billie Sweater Dress by Tilly and the Buttons. And I know I am really late to this game. I've had the pattern for a while. I just have been making other things. So that's first on my list. And let me show you the fabric that I've picked out for this. This is a kind of lighter weight French terry. I purchased it from Minerva, and it looks a little dressy to me with this kind of gold color. I think this would make a great Billie. And one of the things I'm excited about with the Billie dress is having the pockets. I've made the South Bank dress by Nina Lee 3 times, and I definitely will be making that again. I love that pattern, but I have always left off the pockets because the side seam pockets, I just don't think they would look good on the dress and ruin kind of the lines along the side. So I'm looking forward to giving the Billie a try with this fabric. So that's probably going to be first on my list, even above finishing my Christmas dress, which never got finished. I just ran out of time. I needed to finish all of the grandchildren's and Charlie's Hudson Pants, and I needed to start cleaning the house and getting it ready for company. So I did have to shut my sewing room down for a little bit. I don't know when I'm going to pick up on that dress again. I could finish it before the end of the year. It's the Remy dress by Sew House 7. It's very similar in style to the Remy Raglan top that I'm wearing. And I love this pattern, so I thought surely I would have finished it before now. But you know how distracted we can get? I mean, raise your hand. Do you have a firm favorite you want to make and then you wind up either not making it or not finishing it for a while because you get distracted by all the shiny new patterns or seeing your other sewing friends make something that you really want to try? I know that happens to me, definitely. And I don't beat myself up over it because sewing is my hobby. Yes, I do enjoy wearing the clothes I make, and I'm so trying to mostly wear me-made clothing, especially since I have purchased so much fabric in the last year. But if I don't want to sew something in the moment, I just don't. I sew what I want to sew when I want to sew most of the time. And right now I want to sew some cozy things for a couple of reasons. One, I was so terribly cold a week ago, and since it's not cold here that often, I don't have a ton of cozy clothing, and I was just putting all kinds of layers on just to keep warm. And I thought I could actually use a couple more sweatshirts. And the other reason is I'm going to be teaching a sweatshirt class at work, and I want to have some new things to wear to work. I work in a sewing studio. We mainly sell sewing machines, but we do classes, and we have some fabric that we sell. And I want to have some really pretty makes for people to ask questions about and maybe promote my class. I know I have one person who has signed up for the class and really would like to fill that class out. I enjoy teaching, and so I'm going to do my own little marketing and just wear cute sweater dresses and sweatshirts. So the Billie's going to be up first, and I'm torn between sewing another Jarrah or a Jackson pullover, and I may just do both. And I am somewhat firmly resolved that I'm gonna make myself a pair of Hudson Pants. I was doing a count, and I don't remember now, it was either 14 or 15 times I've sewn this pattern, but they've all been mini and men's Hudson Pants. And poor me, I have not sewn a pair for myself. Right now I'm wearing some ready-to-wear joggers that are kind of a favorite of mine because they're a thin fabric, but they are showing their age, and I could use some fun Hudson Pants. So let me show you some fabric that I'm not too sure what I'm gonna do with yet, but it's so pretty. So this is some blue French terry. Here we go. It has these fawns and leaves on it. And I got this from Minerva. It took a long time for this to make its way to me, but I think it was worth the wait. And I'm looking forward to making something out of this. It might be a little bit much to do both the top and bottoms in this fabric, but I'm sitting this with this just for a little bit to decide how I want to use it. Now I got it in a sale. I think this was 40% off if I'm not mistaken. So I got it for a really good deal, but it's super nice. So I don't want to treat it like a muslin or a toile, and I don't want to look crazy if I have too much of this going on top and bottom, but this is going to be something, a couple of somethings. And with it being more of a feminine fabric, I need to do something for myself out of this, and possibly for my granddaughter, or two somethings for me. I have mainly been sewing for others, and whether it's gifts or clothing, I did a couple of pairs of leggings for my granddaughter while she was here, went through some of my scraps, and it was much appreciated by my son and daughter-in-law, and she looks super cute in them. So I'm ready to sew for me and to get some new makes out. Now let me show you what I got up to with my grandson. It was really cold here, and I needed to find some indoor activities for the grandchildren. My 7-year-old grandson was very interested in doing some sewing, which I love. And what he did was he made some coasters, he made some keychains, and some ear mittens for his Pokemon Pikachu stuffed toy. So I don't have the ear mittens. I know you're disappointed. Or the keychain. He wanted to make a keychain for his brother and one for his friend. But I do have one of the coasters that he made, and it's right here. It's some tulip pink fabric on one side and cotton and steel on the other, and sandwiched in between is some cotton batting. And he really enjoyed making these. He was so careful with what he was doing. We put a lid on the top fabric and he traced it with a friction pen and made probably about a dozen circles. And we made our sandwiches. He pushed the pedal and I did the steering around the needle. And he felt so accomplished making them. This was my gift from him. He wanted some for his mother, some for his other grandmother, and it was a really good afternoon. He enjoyed it so much that later he told his parents that I had told him, which is true, that in a little while, when he's a little bit older, that I would let him do more of the sewing because he'd be more mature and able to handle the machine. And he wants to save up his money to buy a sewing machine. Love it. Of course, I have a couple of extra sewing machines that I can pass along, so that's no problem there if he's still interested in it. And if he's not interested in sewing later, that's fine. He did ask me for the next time I visit to pretty much pack up my sewing room so that we could do some more crafting when I visit. Charlie and I had a fantastic time having the kids and the grandchildren home, especially having everybody together. It was really great family time. And then we hosted the larger family. We had about 30 over for dinner Christmas Day. We had one tiny snafu with the dinner. I put the lamb into roast and it just took an extraordinarily long time. I have made lamb in this oven before and I thought I had the timing worked out, but it was in for more than 2 hours longer than I expected. So we didn't have lamb for Christmas. Fortunately, I have purchased a good amount of pork shoulder, and I think that's the easier way to go when I have such a large crowd, to just put those in the Instant Pots and let them go and not have to fuss with the timing of the lamb in the oven. But what it does mean is that for New Year's, we're going to have a couple of my sisters and my parents over for some delicious lamb. Charlie put it in the freezer and we'll take it out and gently warm it up and have it for dinner on Sunday. So I hope to be back on this weekend, maybe show you a little bit about what I have made this weekend, and also talk about my Make 9 2022 and whether I'm going to be doing a Make 9 in 2023. Next week is going to be super busy for me. I'm going to be working Tuesday through Saturday, not full days, but probably pretty long days. We're going to be taking inventory and we're having some staff training on all of the sewing machines. I'm really looking forward to the staff training part. Hopefully I will have the time and energy to do a little sewing during the week. I really feel the need and the desire to sew, and hopefully I have the time for it. Until next time, I hope you have a joyful week and you find the good in all things, especially sewing. Bye.